Welcome, everyone, and good morning. It's great to see you here again. Hopefully, you've been able to see some of John Ring's devotionals. It's been a lot of fun to get to record them and share this book, Journey to the Cross, with you. And hopefully, it's been a blessing in your life. Today, I want to talk about Christ's victory through suffering. And what I want to say about it is that every bit of Christ's suffering, he suffered for you and for me. And every victory accomplished by that suffering was accomplished so that you and I can live in victory too. To fully understand what it is that Jesus did for us on the cross, if that's even possible in this world, we need to take a look at a couple things. We need to take a look at how Jesus was a substitute for us as a human, and how he was a perfect sacrifice for us in that he was divine and he was human. So Jesus was a substitute for Adam and Eve, the first humans, in that he was a representative like they were. They had the best opportunity to obey God, and yet they still failed. The failure of Adam and Eve cried out for another representative to come eventually, who would not fail, a representative who would obey God each and every time. That representative would have to take on where Adam and Eve failed and do better. If we look at our lives and we're honest, we've all got our share of sin and failure where we could have done better. Honestly, we don't need a representative like Adam and Eve in order to be sinful. We already do that pretty well ourselves. But what we don't do well is that we don't often listen to God well. We don't often obey. We don't often trust him. And we don't make good choices, just like Adam and Eve. And so Jesus was the substitute who did that where we couldn't. But Jesus was also a substitute for the animal sacrifices that we see in the Old Testament. He was and is the human who lived perfectly on our behalf. And he was and is also God, who is able to pay the price that we could not pay, that the animals couldn't pay. That is how he won our victory as our representative. And today, I want you to consider a couple things. I wanted to start with a couple questions, saying, if you have given up something for Lent, how's it going? If you haven't done this before, this may be kind of rough. And think through that. Think through what sacrifices have been the hardest and what makes them hard. Jesus certainly was no stranger to sacrifice. And today I wanted to read Isaiah 53, a bit of it anyway. And just hear for a few minutes how it is that Jesus sacrificed for us. God's word says, "Who has believed what they heard from us? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He, that is the Messiah, had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, and he was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray, and we have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, and yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like a sheep that is before its shearers is silent, he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, and stricken for the transgression of my people? And they made his grave with the wicked, and with the rich man in his death, although he had done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief. The soul makes an offering for sin. He shall see his offspring. He shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. And that's the hope of victory that we have, is that we will prosper through Jesus Christ. Blessings to everyone today.